Hey, everybody. So, I guess day one of the great thawing, people have asked me, why would you go to Israel right now? Why would you go to Israel at all? And it's wartime, and I'm aware of that. And I have deep feelings about that. But I think I felt called to come here. It became clear yesterday as I had my first experience in the old city that there's an urgency here that mirrors the urgency within me. And, um, back home in Canada, Um, there's kind of for a lot of people, a lot of room to sort of float in and out of the moment. Not here. I've never been in a place where people seem so comfortable um, living their lives with the certainty that this is the place for them. And there's a kind of an urgency, wartime aside, there's like a directionality, a clarity of focus of it's just like it just pushes the energy here pushes the who you really are and the why you're really here. And it just pushes it to the surface. At least it is for me. Every hour is like some kind of a reawakening. And part of it is happening because I picked this place. And perhaps in some way, this place, Jerusalem, picked me. But it's because I came here never in my life, 62 years. I've lived a really intense life. And I've never reached a place of complete and utter hopelessness. Couldn't trust a single soul because of this political thing. What they did, and they warned me they were going to do it if I was pushing on going public and writing a book. They made it very clear. I have tons of stuff on tape, and it was very clear that the message was very clear. If you keep doing this, we're going to defame you. We're going to gather people. We're going to go into community. We're going into all these places. We're going to misrepresent you. We're going to turn people against you. We're going to have strangers and not strangers saying triggering things to you to try to frighten you into silence. I used to think it was into silence. Now I don't think it's that simple. I think that um, the intention is and has always been to destroy. Um, and it almost worked. I had a prescription misadventure in the autumn of 2000 and 23 that was related to this. And then Susan had a heart condition as a result of rescuing me. She also has a visual disability that's worsened as a result of these events. So I came here with all of that on my plate and all of that in my heart, and this this torrent of just repressed material that in the moment to moment rope a dope of trying to respond to all of these techno terror triggers and blocks to my sales, restrictions on human manifestations, now games being played with my new book, Where is God, and all of this. I even put up an ad on Facebook. If you go over on the business page, I removed a lot of them, but you'll see a bunch of people come over and say, "There's no God." And there's this kind of these brutish men. They're not naturally on my page. Many of them, I assure you, they've been sent. This is all part of this game, and so in the heart of all of this, which is still occurring, even people connecting with me here that are part of the game, um, my heart is finding a way to open because I'm in Israel, because I because I'm home. And it's like the heart has no choice here for me. I went yesterday to the hotel, the Wailing, what we used to call what people call the Wailing Wall, and I was just there for a little while, and I felt like it was so timely, the wailing, my soul that wishes to wail and move itself back through to clarity, um, and the wailing of the species and the wailing of the earth and the timelessness of that, and yet the timeliness of that, and this horrible ethos we're living in right now. I had this experience of my mother. It's almost like I feel like every Jew would be good if somehow they did go to Israel at an early age, because I think it helps to contextualize things about this place. It was like I could see back into the lineage of my mother and my father, who converted to Judaism, but as it turns out was half Jewish, in fact. And all the hundreds of relatives. When I was 3, there was like, we had a birthday party. There were like 300 relatives there. But it didn't have the same roots that it has after 1 hour at the hotel. Like all that has been overcome, and the determination, which I share. I mean, I shouldn't be here after what's happened in the last 4 years, I assure you. One well-known private investigator who was helping with it said, "You're not normal, Mr. Brown. Most people, they back off after 5 minutes when they realize what's happening." So this is the Jewish spirit in me. This is my mother's spirit in me. My mother had a very simple philosophy. No one's allowed to abuse her kids except her. Okay. Um, and in many ways, she believed that that discipline was good. And in many ways, as I get older, I realize, at least for me, it was, because it keeps me going under impossible circumstances. Yeah. So I think feels to me like this is the great thawing out. I'm sleeping for the first time in like 4 years in Jerusalem, of all places. I've never slept better. I just slept like 11 hours or something. I don't know. It's like wild. I don't know what's next. Um, I feel like this is profound reassemblage. It's like a thawing out and then a reassemblage, a thawing out and then a reassemblage. It feels like it's leading somewhere profound, even if it's uncomfortable. And just the way that this political thing and the the conversation with God or Creator or whatever you call it that came through, that I documented in the new book, and where is God in all of this? That which is encoded in me. How does that relate to that experience with abuse of power? Well, I'm a Jew, of course it relates. Um, but there's more to that, There's more to that, and what is it? How does it inform the next stages of my life and my experience? I was encoded to study law and then leave law. I knew that early. I was going to study psychology and then sort of leave that, and I was going to write, and then what? And um, I'm in the then what, and there's no better place to ask the question, at least for me, than Jerusalem. And interestingly, in the encodings model, one of the things that the creator brought through is that one of the prongs of that is something called sacred geographies. That is, those places that your soul is called to, whether it's because of a past life or a need to close a chapter from your past life or this life, or because there's just a place that calls out the best in you or the truest in you or the um, most creative or expressive of you. After dealing for 4 years on the devil's playground, really, with, I say literally thousands of bullies, online bullies, fake accounts, real accounts, you know, um, cops following me, cars on the highway threatening to knock me off the highway. I got a story, but the bullies of the world, and we've all been this in our soul's journey. Um, it's so interesting that I just come here and I feel so safe. Crazy. Anyway, I'll have more to share tomorrow. Thank you for just knowing there's somebody, just one human being out there who's holding the space for this, whatever the fuck this is, journey, this homecoming, means a tremendous amount to me.